I'm thinking the first thing we should touch on is how much money you can make before we get into the whole like options and things that are going on. And if you are approved for disability benefits, there's one regulation. If you're trying to get your benefits approved, there's another amount that you need to be conscious of. And make sure you get those right. And I will have, I'll put this in the chat, Nadine, and you can send it around the world here.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through it with you. Pull it up on my screen here. Okay. So the link that's been put in is, will bring you to this page, and there's a video that you can watch it. It sounds a lot like me. And down below it are the two different regulations for going for how much money you can make. And I'm going to go through the one first for those of you that are approved. So the key thing here is, and this talks about the trial work period that we just touched on, 9 months, not necessarily consecutive out of 60 months that you can test it under the trial work period, and you can make as much money as you want. So the important thing is on this page is you'll see the historical, how much money you could make a month. It started at like 50 bucks. But for 2025, you can earn $1,160 a month and every month and keep your benefits. So really the best way to approach this in today's super high scrutiny world is to stay like 20% below that. So you're really off the radar. But that is the regulation. So you can do something part-time, earn that amount of money. The only thing you need to do is let Social Security know that you are going to be working in the estimated amount of money that you need to work and follow any directions that they have. Make sure you correspond in writing and keep receipts. And if you don't know how much money you're going to make, say, listen, I'm going to go back to work. Or I have a side business I'm going to be doing, and I'd like to make $400 to $600 a month, but it really depends on how I feel. That's totally fine. But make sure you follow the regulations to let Social Security know that you are working. So the amount for individuals that are going through the disability approval process is different. It's the other link. It's $1,620 a month. That's a whole separate conversation. Really, any work at all is detrimental to your approval chances. There's some, exceptions to the rule, but you're trying to prove that you cannot work. So I understand you have to pay your bills and all that. I get it. But I'm just sharing my almost 2 decades of experience that it's hard. Okay. So how much money you can make? Check. We've covered that. So now let's talk about strategies for getting started. And I'm going to take a look over here at the feedback. So I see Pennsylvania, Michigan. I don't know where Spenaway is, and maybe that's a city in a state somewhere. Louisville, Kentucky, Missouri. By the way, these regulations are throughout the U.S. because this is a federal program. Savannah, Georgia, like that city. I was just in New Mexico last week. Anybody from New Mexico out there? No? All right. Next thing I'd like to know if there is any of you that are in the audience out there that are actually supplementing your income. Just put yes, I am, and what you're doing, like maybe you're dog sitting or babysitting or you're substitute teaching or, hopefully you don't have a back injury and you're riding horses and training horses because that would be a no-no. So that would be really good to know. Maybe there's some ideas that we can share. So this is what I run into when I speak to people that are considering the process and getting started and have been out of work. They're generally, apprehensive because they don't know what their capabilities are, right? Philip, perhaps you can relate to this when you started your journey here at the Disability Digest.
Yes.
So, I mean, how much can I work? How good am I going to be? How long have I been out of the game? What have I missed? All of those things. So this is just my position to create realistic, achievable steps. And I've met many that are like out of work, been out of work, and they're like, I want to try the Ticket to Work program. Well, a solid idea. But to try the Ticket to Work program, you're going from zero work over the allowed amount, oftentimes a full amount, full workload. And your chances of success are significantly reduced because that's a big jump. So like anybody that starts a training or a new habit, think about what you can do as a small, realistic, gradual first step. Maybe you've got like really severe depression and like you're in bed 6 days a week, right? And you have this aspiration to do something different. Well, your first step could be as simple as texting somebody, texting some people you know that perhaps could use an encouraging word. Or maybe the next step is calling somebody. Maybe you build your way up to you're out of bed for 3 days a week and you could volunteer for 1 day. So you're not technically working, but you're making your journey in that direction. And you get wins, you know, when I can text, when I can call, all right? So you keep building on that. So whatever that is for you, that would be my suggested first step. When you start working, I am a big fan of working part-time below the allowed amount that I shared with you. So there's no harm, no foul, no risk, low risk, right? And a big upside. And you get a little cash, you get a sense of purpose. Hopefully you're doing some fun that's engaging to make a difference. Okay. So did anybody put in the notes that they're doing anything for work? I don't see it.
No, none so far.
Am I correct to understand that nobody out here is supplementing their income? Yeah?
Probably. Yeah.
All right. I mean, what would an extra $500 a month look like for you? I think that's pretty much a no-brainer on a fixed income. Okay. So next thing is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through some of the ways that you could work together with us to supplement your income. Some that have very low barriers and some that have higher barriers. But before I do that, I want to share with you the Disability Digest, our model here and what we do. I refer to us as a freemium model where we have a membership that you see on the screen where you can click the green button and you can fill out a profile and join us in like less than 2 minutes. And there's no charge for that. And why that is something that we promote is you can watch, I think there's over 2,000 videos on our YouTube channel now. By the way, I think we're getting close to 100,000 subscribers.
Yes, we are.
Cool. Thank you, everybody. It's you folks that did it. So when you join us as a member and complete the profile, that helps us understand, like, are you trying to get approved? Are you already approved? Are you, like, have you been denied? Like, what's going on with you? So, for example, yes, I've applied and waiting. Have you worked 50% or more the last 10 years? So these questions will guide you through, and it'll allow us to understand where you're at so we can get you into the correct courses, information, and support that we have. So if you are going through the disability approval process, it would indicate from your profile, you would get access to an advocate like Philip or Nadine, still no charge, part of your membership. And they'd have a discussion with you, get a better understanding for where you're at, then they would put you into the appropriate section of our disability approval course. In the disability approval course, part of your membership, there's no charge, put together with industry experts like John Ginsberg, Carl Osterhow, ex-Social Security employee Barb Mountain, industry expert James Mitchell Brown, Michael Sexton, and a lot of success stories from our members. So this gives you the step-by-step how-to get your benefits approved. Like the testimony that I read to you at the beginning, that was an individual that used our course to go through the process. Now, you may also want to use the course, but maybe you don't want to do this on your own, you're stuck or whatever it is, then having representation could be an option. If you speak to an advocate like Philip, Nadine, they'll do an evaluation on your situation, give you some tips you could use regardless with the course. But if you're like, you know what, I just really want to get this done, I don't want to do it, I'd like to have you guys do it, then that's a discussion that you could have. We would be your disability representative. So membership is free, course is free, representative is being a representative and having us do the work is not, just to be clear. Social Security has one fee structure for disability representatives, and we would get paid 25% of whatever back benefits we recover for you once you're approved. There's no money up front, but that's how it works with that. So that's feature number one in the membership. And I'm going through all this because this is going to tie into two ways in which you could work with us. Once you're approved for your benefits, which is our ultimate goal if you join us and you're trying to get approved, is we want to help you maximize those benefits. So we review your award letter, make sure you understand like what it is, your back payment, did you get everything, what you should be paying for, what you should not be paying for, what your insurance options are, things like that. And this is something that you could do annually with us as a member here at the Disability Digest. So we have a specific team that's experts in this area of benefit review. A lot of the confusion for individuals once they get approved is Medicare. When are they eligible? What's the best option? What solutions do you have? So we have, we can sort through all of that for you with the experts that we have here. The next key thing, a lot of people are concerned about keeping their benefits. If you're approved for benefits or you're going through the approval process, you may not be aware of this yet, but you need to continue your treatment and you're in a continual review status for the most part. There are some conditions that have absolutely no medical improvement and you wouldn't be subject to another review from Social Security, but most of you are. And about 144,000 people a year lose their benefits because of these reviews. So we have a course put together with industry expert James Mitchell Brown, 10 segments, teaches you how to prepare and get through your review. So I'm just hitting the highlights of some of the membership features that we have here before we get into the two different ways that you could work with us and supplement your income. All right, so this is super valuable. It takes a lot of the anticipation out of what is it, what do I expect, what do I do, and it can help you. Now, if you get denied, you know, and you're heading towards one of those 144,000, there's additional resources that we have that can help you out. Again, I'm just hitting the highlights, but the next key feature that we have is we have a benefit protection program. A few slides ago, I told you about a review that you have. If we go through a review with you and show you your health insurance options and you choose to proceed with it with us, then we would be your health insurance agent. There's no additional cost for that. We're paid by insurance companies, but because we're paid by insurance companies, we want to keep you on your benefits. So when you get your review, then we would add an extra layer of involvement for reviewing the forms, for example. If you got denied, we'd help you write appeal. If you went back to court, we'd cover the first $500 in legal costs, which is usually enough. So if you had to pay for something like that, if you got in a continuing disability review, it would be $6,000 on the low end, probably closer to the full fee of $9,000, because it's still a significant amount of work, just like getting somebody approved. We do it for no charge if you are a client of ours. So those are some of the key benefits that we have. Now, again, I went through all of this because there's two ways in which individuals could work with us. We have an advocate position that's opening. Let's have it up on the screen here. And in the show notes for today, you can go in and learn more about this position and apply for it if it's a fit for you. But advocates look and behave a lot like Philip and Nadine, who are advocates here. So in their day-to-day work, they have certain members that are assigned to them, members that can call them, that they work with, and they help them understand, like if somebody's trying to get approved, they'll walk them through our strategy, which is here's the course, here's the parts to use, provide an evaluation for the case, help them understand if it's a case that we feel that they could win, that we could win, and so they have that as an option. Or if they're already approved, then help with the benefit review. What are the options? What should you pay for or not pay for? The things that I just covered. So that's what an advocate does. On an average month, we have 350 to 550 new members that join us. So there's always, and we've been doing this for almost 2 decades, so there's a continual flow of members that are coming in here. As a matter of fact, last year, 1.9 million people applied for disability benefits, and 684,000 of those got approved. So there's a massive disparity between those applying and getting approved, whereas when we work with people directly, our approval rate, it's not 100%, but I'm not going to share the exact number with you, but it's not far off. So it's really doing it right, not quitting. Advocates can be a real key in helping you do that. So this is like a hourly plus commission. You can work part-time in these positions. And why we love to have our members apply and contribute to these is because you bring something to the table that an able-bodied person just doesn't, because you've gone through it or you're going through it and you've experienced it. So it's a great way to supplement your income. These positions are designed so that you can earn and keep your benefits every month. There is the ticket to work option if you want to, but they're really designed for like a 3-4 day part-time work week, right? Did I miss anything on this advocate position that either of you would like to chime in, offer? Putting you on the spot, I know, but.
No.
Thank you. Covered it all.
Good.
And you get to work with me.
Yes!
Yep.
Bonus!
That's the bonus.
Yeah.
Waiting for the mic drop.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's great. We've had advocates working here since 2007. The first one was Dennis Berry. Yes, they've had reviews, but nobody has had anything happen to their benefits because we know the rules. So that's number one. There's a 2-step process for applying for this. It is going to require some patience. You submit your original intent. On the bottom of this page, there's a web form. And then the second step will give you some directions where you do need to do some work to contact your vocational rehab office, meet with a benefit planner, get an assessment from them, submit it to us. That goes in with the second part of your application with a video. As you see from today, advocates, I have to sneeze coming up. I think so. Nope, went away. Has nothing to do with my presentation, I don't think. But the benefit planner part is key for a variety of reasons. That is covered in step 2. It does take some time and some persistence, but it does give us an indication from another perspective of your work capabilities, and they will provide you with some resources if needed. That could be a computer, that could be different internet access, could be a phone, not cars or any of that stuff, but basic work tools, right? Okay. This is the next, and this is new and revised. So if you're not sitting down, I encourage you to do so. After we do this, we're going to get on to a Q&A. Right?
Yep.
We have a new revised Refer a Friend program. So here's a way that you can work together with us easily by helping others get their benefits approved. There's no training, there's no application, there isn't any of that. You can earn up to $200 for referring somebody to us that goes through our process and wins. Right? I'm going to break it down for you. So to refer somebody, it's simple, I think. Maybe I'm too close to the work, but there's a green button here. See, these green buttons are everywhere. You click the green button and you put in your name on the top and your friend's name following it, and then information about their disability case status. This is to help people win their benefits. So that's how you would help somebody to refer. Once that form is completed, you want to make sure you tell the contact to look in their email inbox for a confirmation email so they can confirm their Disability Digest membership. So a few minutes ago, I explained the membership feature that gets them access to the membership and gets them started, right? So then the next step is they're in. This is how you make money. If they're going through the approval process, their application has been submitted, we look at it, they get connected with an advocate here, which potentially you could be one if you're of interest, or Philip or Nadine. And advocate goes through, understands, gets an understanding of their situation, puts them in the disability approval course, provides them with an evaluation of their situation, $100. Nothing's bought, nothing's sold. They can continue on their own with the disability approval course and get approved. And if that's what they want to do, amen. That's why we're here. So once they get approved is when the second increment of $100 is issued. So they can get approved on their own, or they could use representation from us if it is a fit. Doesn't matter. We just want you to be there to help them win. So that's where you come in. So I mentioned earlier there was 1.9 million people that applied and 680,000 that got approved. A lot of people legitimately qualify for benefits. This is just my opinion from 2 decades of experience. They break down because they don't do it right. They try it on their own. They get frustrated. It's too much work. They quit. So if you could be the liaison to getting them in the funnel, so they have the course, if they can use the course, comprehend it, absorb it, execute it, great. If they can't, then they can get help. But you've got them in the process. So that's your step number 1. Step number 2 is don't let them quit. Stay in touch with them so they don't fall into that bucket. Those 2 things alone, if this is somebody that you know, would be of great value to them. All right, so a few other things on this. This is not an unlimited referral process. See, now accepting referrals. Here at the Disability Digest, I mentioned our win rate is high. I like to keep it there. We do custom work on these cases. There's like 7 things that need to be done at the initial application. And we put this effort in so that we can keep those rates high. So when we start bumping to our capacity, this will be, that green button up there will turn red. And it will say currently not accepting referrals. Okay? So that's one thing I want to make you aware of. We'll open it back up when we can, but that is how the program will work. Now, once your friend gets approved, they can make a little more money. They'll have the opportunity to join one of these events and share their story, or shoot us a quick video, or like the Kimberly at the top, if she took a video and just held her camera out, sent that in, and it's something that we could share with you as inspiration, then we would issue a $50 commission to them. Okay, so let's talk about a few particulars. Eligibility, you can't refer yourself. That's not one of those deals. This is for a friend, and I understand that some of us are friends of ourselves, but doesn't apply to this situation. They need to meet the general eligibility for disability, which is outlined on this page. And so we've gone through and talked about that. And then money, how you get paid. So this is done on a quarterly basis, like the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, right? So we're just starting the second quarter of the year. At the end of the quarter, we add up all the commissions that you would be entitled to for those that you referred and went through the two-part process, and those that would. And we will send you one big check, hopefully, by the 15th of the month at the end of the quarter. Now, listen up. Here's a few things that are important to you. I talked about how much money you can make and keep your benefits. And we can send you Venmo, which is like cash, PayPal, which is like cash money you would earn. So if it's that, and you're receiving your monies that way, which you would let us know, then that is going to count against your allowed amount for the year. If it gets over $600, we'll send you a 1099. If it is an Amazon gift card, it is a gift. It does not impact how much money you can make and keep your benefits. It is a gift, and so it's a gift. So those are some things to think about as far as how you would like to receive your compensation. So our objective here is to have a way in which you could bring people in. There's no charge. It's easy to get started, easy for you to do. And we have kind of an advanced level, because I know in like speaking about this to others that are interested already, is they're like, yeah, I'm a member of like XYZ support group, and this would be great. So they're like, what else can you share with us for tools? So we have a hub, like a referral partner hub that you can join. It's a sign up for ongoing support. You can click there and we can give you different tools. Like if you've been here in prior weeks, we have our good friend Benny. You could use Benny or learn how to use Benny to enter your friends' questions in there, get answers, send them back to them. Things like that. So we have a variety of tools to share with you to help you maximize your chances of success here. All right. So those are the highlights for the Referral Partner Program. We're going to move into our Q&A section of the program. So if you have questions relative to this, you can chat, you can join in the room, and when we're done at the end of today, I will put this in the chat here, Nadine, and you can share this with the listeners out there. So
yeah. So before I actually put in the link for Zoom for the live Q&A, and before we get to the questions from Philip's group, I just want to ask this question from a member, because I believe it's very timely that you discussed the Refer a Friend program, because I recently spoke with a member. She's actually already approved for SSDI. We're helping her in getting her benefits maximized. Her name is Dorothy Wild. So she wanted to refer a friend. And while I was talking to her, she had a question, which could be a question from the audience right now as well. So she was wondering, she told me, how is it that your referral program allows people to receive a free membership, free course, free case evaluation, giving them a chance to win their case on their own, and yet she's still going to earn $200 from it. So maybe
Really
it's the same
good question. And I know Dorothy. She's one of my fond fellow Vermonters. If you're out there, Dorothy, shout out. Well, I'm in hopes that this works good and we're in business at least for a few more months because I have 2 kids in college and a lot of bills, but that's not the answer you want to hear. Here's the deal. We know historically from those that come in here, there's a certain amount of people that traditionally will do this on their own and use the course and get approved. Totally fine. We also know that there are individuals that are like, no, I don't want to do it, or they try it and they get stuck. So as long as we are within 10% of those historical numbers that we have, and a certain amount of people use our representation services, then that will fund it. Now, in addition to that, we have other funding sources that make this work. When somebody, let's say they represent themselves and they go forward and they get approved. Well, we then can meet with them and talk to them about maximizing their benefits. And if they choose an insurance coverage option that we provide for them, then that's a revenue source for us as well. So there's ways in which we have found to, like with the membership, no charge, there's never